Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a rambling video, and first and foremost I want to thank Tack Daddy. He posted something over on Facebook, a link to the article that I'm going to be doing this video from. I'm going to post the relevant links in the description box down below so you can check some of this stuff out yourself, and I'm going to kind of gloss over and glaze over some of these details just to give you the overall point of what I want to say here. But basically there is information coming to light about what happened with this kid, the kid in Florida, and all this talk about how he slipped through the cracks. And we're not going to talk about the 4 deputies. I'm sure people have been talking about that repeatedly for days now. The 4 cops that didn't go in when they heard gunfire, instead of waiting for backup, instead of doing their jobs, and they should immediately be fired and never be allowed to work again. And quite honestly, in my opinion, they bear some responsibility. They should probably be brought up on some sort of charges for allowing that to happen. We're not going to talk about the fact that the FBI completely dropped the ball here when they were told and given this guy's name and could have easily, if they wanted to, track down his IP address to find out where he was coming from. No, we're going to talk about the police and the school district in Florida down there. Now, basically here's the story as it's being written up, as paperwork is actually coming out, documents are actually coming out showing that some of this stuff happened. About 6 years ago, this district was having really bad problems, looking really bad statistically speaking. Okay, they had a lot of their students were getting arrested at higher rates than basically all the other surrounding districts in this area. So what happens is they actually made a deal with local police. And again, I'm kind of paraphrasing a lot of stuff here. You do the research yourself. But they made a deal with local police to basically decriminalize what these kids were doing to bring their stats up. And then over the course of the last 6 years, their stats actually came up. And because of this, they saw more people moving into the neighborhoods, more kids going to school, more money coming in to the neighborhoods and to the school districts. If they got their stats up, they get more government funding, right? So they actually entered into an agreement. I'm reading this stuff here on my phone, and there's actual documents coming out about the deals that they made. And if I can find the one here that I'm actually looking for, there's one here. Oh, Miami-Dade schools police reduce juvenile delinquency by 60%. Well, do you know how they did that? They just stopped going after the kids. When kids would do something, they wouldn't bring them up on any charges. They wouldn't arrest them. They were overlooking things like straight up assault, violence, robberies, okay? Not just, a couple kids getting into a fight or somebody smoking some weed. They were overlooking crimes, clear-cut felonies. They were overlooking to bring the school district and in turn the entire neighborhood and community up to stature by making the numbers look good, by making the statistics look good. As I said, I'm not going to go into all the details. I'll post the stuff for these articles and the paperwork that's actually coming out on this, how they made this deal, okay, how they created what happened in Florida. This was not a gun problem, okay? They created the situation. The reason that this kid, who was obviously severely mentally ill, okay, the reason that this kid just time after time after time was known for getting into fights, for threatening people, for erratic behavior, violent behavior, and nothing ever happened to him, it was because they made a deal to make their numbers look better so they could get more government funding for their school district. That's what this is about. Okay, this kid didn't slip through a crack in the wall, okay? The cops, the sheriff, the school district down there, they put in a door and they pushed him right through.